Welcome back to another episode of Home Sweet Home. My name is Rod McCall.
And my name is Bryce Runge. I like the energy and the effort that you put into your intros.
Well, go big or go small. Go big or go home? No.
Yeah, that's the phrase.
Okay, all right.
Go big or go home.
Okay, well, hey, it's kind of like in the classroom. You bring it. Though I will say
Oh, it's already Broughton.
Broughton?
I don't know.
No? Is that a new word? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new word for the dictionary provided to us by Bryce Brunge.
Broughton to you. This episode is brought to you by Bryce.
Well, you know what?
Well, you better enjoy it. You better enjoy this brought to you.
Well, I enjoy everything we do.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough?
Yes, it's fair.
Okay. Well, we had some good response to when we had Scott with us. So he has agreed to come back, and we have him with us today. Hello, Scott. Glad you're back.
Glad to be here.
Bless you for coming back.
Why, thank you.
Just bless you.
It's a privilege.
Your willingness to sit in the studio with us.
We've had a few people, come back. But we can't get them to come back a third time.
No, yeah. They're down after that second visit usually does them in, Rod.
Well, we'll see if we can try and fix that going forward. So, all right, well, what do you want to talk about today?
I don't know. This is your show. This is your Rodcast.
Oh,
you like that? I just came up with that right now.
And I tell you what, first we got Broughton.
I'm full of them today.
Well, you're full of something. I know that.
You want to put a trademark on that?
Ooh,
we should. Yeah, that's a good one.
See,
I should get royalties. What? No?
I can give you royalties.
I mean, you didn't come up with it. I did.
You did, but, you didn't patent it. You didn't put a label on it. You didn't trademark it. So, all right. Well, you know what? We'll see. If we use it going forward, I will give you full credit.
Okay, thank you.
All right. But
whatever you want to talk about today.
No? Oh, really? Anything?
Anything you want.
Well, the options are unlimited, but I thought we could talk about something that I thought it was kind of interesting. Again, I have all kinds of stuff that pop up on my news feed, and I ran this one particular article caught my attention, and it was from Good Housekeeping. I didn't know Good Housekeeping had an online presence, but voila, it did. And it was talking about gaslighting.
Mm.
Do you know what gaslighting is?
No, can you tell me?
That's when you have a lamp.
And that's run by gas. You turn it on and gas lit. Yeah.
Or is it the guy that runs around the street lighting all the lamps? Oh, no, he was called the lamp lighter. Sorry.
All right. Well, to pull from the APA, or the American Psychological Association, they call it a form of emotional abuse, where someone is manipulated into doing his or her perceptions, doubting his or her perceptions, experiences, and understanding of events.
Wow, I was way off.
No, in the old days, they were all gaslit lamps, and so, hey, gaslit.
I feel like you're gaslighting me right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, so I'm trying to distort or have you doubt your perceptions?
Yeah, it was my perception that I came up with the Rodcast, and now I'm doubting, like you're gaslighting me right now.
Well, but I said I would give you full recognition. This Rodcast is brought to you by... Anyway, no, the concept of gaslighting has become very popular. I hear a lot in the circles that I am associated with when in regards to family courts. Mm-hmm. And especially in high conflict divorces, custody battles, stuff like this, where one parent will say, well, I'm being gaslit from my kids. And so it actually comes from a 1944 film called Gaslight. And it's actually a serious issue. And for the fact that the APA to recognize it is a sign of how damaging it can be. Because, in this particular article by Good Housekeeping, they quote an assistant professor of psychiatry at Howard University, Danielle Hairston. She says that gaslighting takes place when someone tries to get another person or group of people to question or doubt their own beliefs or their own reality. It's a manipulation tactic. I have seen this happen to kids because it's also done by, on spouses. Crying out loud, I saw a Blue Bloods episode on where they talked about, and the husband was trying to gaslight his wife, but basically the idea is, at the end of the day, Hairston says it is trying to distract you or deflect guilt or accountability and responsibility. Mm-hmm. And so you're I don't know. It's all in certain phrases, and that's kind of what I liked about this article was its inclusion of various phrases that you use. Maybe you're not intending to gaslight, but I think you are indeed trying to deflect accountability, to deflect guilt.
Right.
And so I thought, well, maybe we could kind of explore some of these and see if we use any of these phrases that come up when we're having conversations with friends, coworkers, spouses, our children, whatever it might be. Not that it's intentional, that you are intentionally trying to deceive, mislead, or deflect, but are you using these terms, and why are you using them?
Yeah, I'd be real interested to hear them, because you're probably right. I've probably used some of the terms. I think it's good to shed some light on it, is what I'm saying, because we've probably all been there before. Okay. Unintentional, if you will, right?
Yeah. Well, and they've got like 20 different phrases in here. And I don't know that we need to go through all 20 of them, but Scott is our guest. Is there any that on this list that you found particularly interesting?
Well, I think you're crazy.
Well, yeah. I don't have an official diagnosis yet. I mean, that's why I'm going, getting my master's in professional counseling.
No, that's not what he meant, Rob. Oh. You weren't listening. Okay? You weren't listening to understand.
Listening. He said I was crazy.
No, you took offense to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sitting over here with my mouth wide open going,
Right. That clearly shows that you're crazy. No, seriously, though, the phrase "you're crazy," right? When you're using that in a conversation with a partner or another person, right? That is, you trying to kind of take control of the situation and bring that person to some sort of doubt about themselves. Or if somebody's saying that to you, right? That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to have you have doubt in whatever you're having a conversation about. So, and I think that that's a negative phrase that, going back to the previous episode that I participated in, it's not understanding the other person. In fact, it's intentionally causing them some harm and making them lose trust.
Huh. Yeah, I like that explanation.
Yeah, I read briefly months ago, and dealing with mental health and how they're trying to get us to like, hey, don't use that word crazy. Don't throw it around so loosely. I'm bad at this. Like, I'll say that to the girls. It's not like anything. They're doing something funny or whatever, and I'm like, "Oh, you're being crazy." You know, I think we just kind of do that. I don't. It's not like, "Hey, I think you're crazy." I just think you're being crazy right now. But I kind of reflect on, should I be saying that to them? Because are they going to start thinking that, "Wow, am I crazy?"
Or do
right?
you
Because that ties into our mental health and like what you just said. Right. And so I've said that to Suzanne a couple times. Didn't go over very well. You know, but I try to put a positive spin on it. Like, you're acting crazy right now. Like, but again, how harmful was that?
Well, but
so that's
crazy.
Gaslighting is what this is saying. So I basically gaslit her by using that word. And so
interesting.
Or that's crazy. Or
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You say, well, what you said was basically crazy. You know.
But could you? What's the difference between saying crazy and, well, that's just silly? Is it the same thing?
Well, what's the definition of crazy?
You?
See, you just gaslit me, I think you just gaslit me.
Lots of non-examples.
Okay. All right. So fair point. All right. So if we use the word crazy, is there a context in which, like, you're talking with the girls, you're acting comical, you're acting silly, right, you're acting funny? Is that a lot different than, well, that's just a crazy thing you just said? Are they the same thing, or do they mean?
I don't know.
Well, I think it depends on the situation, right? I mean, if you've got somebody who's acting silly and that they're trying to be funny, right? That's one thing to say to a child, you know, that's silly.
Okay.
You're being silly, and you're laughing and it's fun and whatever. But it's another thing to be like having a spouse say, "I'm really concerned about the money," and you're like, "You're crazy. Don't worry about it." Which is another one of the ones on here, right?
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Now, I like the way you put that into context.
So, well, you said earlier, the other episode when Scott was here, that you have become a little bit more angry. You know, you maybe lash out a little bit more. Am I correct in that?
Yeah.
So if Sherry says you're acting crazy right now, how are you going to receive that? Versus if you're playing a game or whatever and you're doing something, what are you saying? Maybe I'm just like,
and that was a crazy move.
Yeah.
Versus you're just crazy.
Right.
Okay, I can see then. Okay, I would take that then as an insult. But if that was a crazy move.
Right.
You know, like when, you know, in the Chiefs game here a few weeks ago, where when Tony was offsides, but it led to the touchdown that got called back. That was a crazy play.
Right.
But that was a positive word. But, okay, I get what you're saying about the use of the word "you're crazy."
Well, you're in school. You're both educators, right? You're around teens. Why haven't you guys picked up on some of the new lingo to use? Like, replace that with, you know, there's lots of stuff out there, right?
I suppose.
This is busting right now.
Bust a move?
Nope. I don't know.
I don't know that the new lingo is any good.
All right.
I'm still stuck on the button thing, or brought to you.
Oh, this is brought to you.
All right, Bryce, was there one that stood out to you, or any of these?
I think it didn't happen that way. Is a good one, because that just not in a good way.
Okay,
like, you know, that's a good one to point out. Again, kind of going back to that self-doubt, placing, you know, seeds of doubt and uncertainty in that person. But that one stuck out to me.
Okay, why?
It goes back to that last one. Oh, am I really crazy then? And do I have some issues? Because that's what this is pointing to. It didn't happen that way. It happened my version. Right?
Oh, okay. So revisionist history?
Right.
All right, to make you look better rather than accepting guilt. You're misremembering.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Scott.
No, I like that one. It reminds me of an episode I watched. Now that we can stream everything under the sun, right? I've gone back to watching some of the episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh, yeah.
Great show. And one of the episodes that I recently watched had them telling two different versions of the same event. Right? So Raymond has his version where he sees how he was treated, and Deborah has another version where how she was treated. Right? So they're both saying it didn't happen the way the other person said. And really, it was somewhere in the middle. How the story
Right.
Well.
Right. So, but they're both basically trying to say it didn't happen the way the other person said.
Yeah.
Fair point. I remember my dad always saying that there are three sides to every story. There's your side, there's my side, and somewhere in between is the truth. I do remember during my divorce, she who shall not be named would frequently bring up something that had happened, but in a way that did not happen in reality. Mm-hmm. I killed the fish. Well, it was one of those silver dollar fish. It was, they only have a short shelf life, and this sucker had lasted like 12 years. And it had survived moves from Kansas to Pennsylvania to Texas, and it died of old age, but I killed it. And it was kind of like, well, how did I kill it? I hadn't been home since early morning. I don't feed the fish. That was your responsibility. How did I kill it? But I killed it, So, yeah, it didn't happen that way.
Right.
So, no, I like that. I like that.
Well, and I can't remember the company, it's insurance. They throw the red flag out.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Two people having a conversation. Oh, it didn't go like that. Or you left the sliding glass door and the cat got in. Let's throw the red flag on that one and watch the replay.
Yes.
Right? Because then we can see. I love those. It's funny because we did that. I did that a couple nights ago with Suzanne. I said, "Where's my red flag?" She's like, "What do you mean? I'm going to throw the red flag out on this because I don't think it happened that way."
We need an instant replay.
Yeah, and we started laughing about it, and that was a funny moment. But it's again like I like what they do because that's so true. When we're having conversations, we have conflict or whatnot. It didn't. But when it comes to gaslighting, yeah.
I think I'd rather talk it out than have an instant replay.
Yeah, because I think I would find I was wrong way more often.
Oh my gosh, I'm not always wrong.
Well, yeah. Well, one that was on this list that I found very interesting because I guess maybe because I've used it a lot. That's not what I meant. I don't know that I'm trying to intentionally gaslight somebody, but I'll say something, and in my mind, this is what I was trying to say, but the words came out way differently. The inflection that I used on the words gave a total different meaning. Mm-hmm. But anyway.
Well, I do like that, and maybe that also stems from the person who says that is backpedaling.
Well, yes, because that's the other thing I was going to also throw in is that I've also used it the other way when that's exactly what I meant.
Right.
I said exactly what I wanted to say in the way I meant to say it, but it didn't get received the way I was hoping. And so, that's not what I meant. So it goes back to then the deflection. Of trying to backpedal and, as you said, Bryce, and get myself out of trouble.
Yeah.
And the thing about the gaslighting here is all these phrases we're looking at are meant to bring control back to the right. So the person saying these things is trying to get control of the conversation, trying to get control of the situation, and manipulate. I mean, that's the definition here.
Yeah.
So. All of these are doing just the opposite of what we talked about in the previous episode.
Okay. Instead of resolving conflict, it's trying to, by default, may generate more conflict.
Or control and manipulate this towards your version of things.
Yeah.
And keep the other person out of it.
Okay.
Well, and I think the big thing here, too, is... last episode, this episode, we're talking about these things, and the common thread here is ownership. We're so quick to try and manipulate, get ourselves out of a situation, or that didn't happen that way type of thing, instead of stepping back, or better yet, what I like to say is go find a mirror.
Oh,
and then
God, that.
you discover ownership.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to take ownership, and that's just a sad thing. I've been there before, but I've gotten really good about, no, that was me. I need to own that one, because we own a piece of the pie. Uh-huh. Whether you think your sliver's 10% to the 90%, you own a piece of the pie, and you need to own it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's, I can see myself as I'm listening to you. Like, you just blow things so out of proportion, which is another one of these statements here for gaslighting. And I can see myself doing just that.
Yeah.
Saying this same thing. I can't think of one right offhand, but I could imagine I would have. Especially, well, I can't say just with She Who Shall Not Be Named, but yeah, you blow things out of proportion.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that big a deal. I don't know. Are there any other ones, guys?
Rod? Oh, sorry.
Don't get so worked up over this.
Because
that always calms people down and brings resolution to a conflict.
Dang it!
Definitely.
I wish I'd known that earlier.
Or how about this one? You can't take a joke. I will say that we work with. There's been a guy Scott and I work directly with by name of Jeff, and he had arguably the best sarcastic responses. And they were funny, they were comedic, they were timely, and when you heard him say things, I don't know that I felt like I was being attacked. So I think, oh, well, I can be funny, haha, like that. Mm-hmm. And Sherry goes, no, your sarcasm is just downright mean.
Right.
And so the idea, you just can't take a joke. Well, it was mean sarcasm. And so I know I've said that you just can't take a joke. I'm just joking. But at the end of the day, you know what? I guess I really wasn't joking. I was trying to insult you. I just thought I was doing it in a funny haha way that you wouldn't recognize that you were being insulted till later.
Right, and I think that motive is really important, right? In your discussions, what is your motive? Are you trying to get control of the situation? Are you trying to get understanding? What is it that you're actually trying to do? And I think that for a lot of us, a lot of people in these situations using these phrases, it's more about getting control and shutting down the conversation and just trying to move on and avoid conflict avoidance maybe, but bringing yourself to a new conflict potentially. But in the process, you are demeaning the other person, right?
True.
You are not treating them, especially if it's in your marriage, right? You're not treating them as a partner. So
now you've got two issues. You're a gaslighter, and now you've driven a wedge, so to speak, in your relationship. I think you just need to tell the person they're just being too sensitive, Rod.
You know what? I think I will.
I grew up hearing that. Stop being so sensitive. You're way too sensitive.
Shake it off. Be a man.
Yeah.
Okay. But that brings in, instead of, is that so much gaslighting, now we're bringing up a masculinity thing or a feminine thing. Don't be such a girl. I don't know. I get you. I think I remember my dad saying the same thing. Toughen up. Be a boy.
He told you to stop being such a girl?
Well, I have 3 sisters.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Kiss my grits. You're gaslighting me too now.
Oh.
God.
Someone's got to light the gas.
I grew up with a couple sisters, and they were some of the more, or least sensitive people, maybe.
Oh, really?
Right.
Okay. So, are we back to where we started? Words matter. What you say, the intent behind what you're trying to say, can influence how our relationship is going to move forward positively and successfully.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Well, you know the old adage, right? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Yeah, I don't know that I believe that anymore.
Yeah,
It's not true.
not true, right? Yeah, I think a lot. Just so much of us don't understand the power our tongue could punch, the punch it could deliver with our words, and that's why we need to be so crucial. Like it needs to be. We need to be extremely aware of the things that we're saying because they could be damaging, right? Mm-hmm. So
Absolutely.
Well,
yeah.
We're up against the clock.
We're up
again.
against
Man,
the
that's
clock
went by
again.
fast.
They are going by fast.
Oh.
Time flies when you're having fun, Rod.
Well, yes, in this Rodcast. I love
That's
it.
right. I'm glad.
All right.
I'm glad we have brought in it.
Yes. Yes. Well, thanks to these new words by Bryce Runge.
Yes. Well, those were my new words.
To go with some of the other words.
Well, I was going to say my new words and my last words.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you trying to say here?
What I'm trying to say is that, folks, this is my last episode on the Home Sweet Home show.
As a regular.
As a regular. This is my last episode as a regular.
Well, who's going to fill your spot?
Well, we've had a guest on. He's doing a pretty awesome job. And he's a lot better looking than me. So,
well, crying out loud, that's a low bar.
are you gaslighting me?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, Scott, do you think you'd be all right stepping in as a regular?
Yeah, I would appreciate that very much. I think this is it's a good show. I've listened to very, very many of the episodes. I think it has a great kind of mission and goal. So, and it lines up right with the things that I've been wanting to help people with throughout my life. So,
Oh, that's awesome. I think you fit in perfectly.
I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, I concur. So, well, all right, you may get out of our regular broadcast, but you ain't going that far. I'm going to bring you back, man.
You can bring me back in every once in a while.
Right.
I'd like that.
Okay.
But yes, I am parting ways.
All right, well.
It's not you. It's me.
Yeah, okay. Well, I know you got a lot going on with the girls, but with your job, and as that ratchets up, we'll maybe we could bring you back as a financial expert.
I wouldn't do that.
No, as I said that out loud, that
I
wouldn't
would not
work.
do that. But I know some financial experts. I would be happy to bring them on.
Fair enough.
Oh.
Well, we will then end one and begin another adventure. Ladies and gentlemen, saying farewell to you, this is Rod.
And I'm Bryce.
And I'm Scott.
Farewell.